Alright, let's break down what's really going on with this so-called One Big Beautiful Bill Act. If you've been scrolling through the news lately, you've probably seen headlines about Democrats and Republicans clashing over this bill. Some call it a game changer, others say it's a disaster. But the real question is, are Democrats misleading us about what's actually in the GOP's new bill? Here's the deal. This bill just passed the House and it's stirring up a storm because of one controversial piece: banning federal taxpayer dollars from being used for sex change treatments. In plain English, that means Medicaid and Affordable Care Act funds can't pay for gender transition procedures in any state, for anyone, no matter their age. Critics, including groups like the Human Rights Campaign and the Congressional Equality Caucus, are saying this bill cuts off medically necessary care for all transgender people. Not just kids, but adults too. They're calling it an attack on healthcare, plain and simple. Their argument? Gender-affirming care is backed by every major medical group in the US and shown by studies to improve mental health for transgender youth. They say these are decisions best left to doctors, patients, and families, not politicians or watchdog organizations. But on the flip side, you've got the American Principles Project. Think of them as a conservative watchdog group, accusing Democrats of using scare tactics and confusing language. According to their president, Terry Schilling, Democrats are deliberately obfuscating the truth. He says they're making it seem like the bill bans all health care for transgender people, when in his view, it only stops taxpayer funding for surgeries and treatments he calls cosmetic. Schilling points to guidelines from the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, saying that even they admit there's no one-size-fits-all treatment for gender dysphoria. Translation: not all procedures are medically necessary, so why should public money pay for them? Now here's where things get even more complicated. Schilling and his group claim their polls and focus groups show that most Americans across the political spectrum don't want taxpayer money going to gender transitions. According to them, there's broad support for banning these procedures for minors and for requiring adults to pay out of pocket. But of course, polls can be tricky, and it all depends on how you ask the question. So, who's telling the truth here? Are Democrats exaggerating the impact of the bill to fire up their base? Or are Republicans and their allies downplaying real harm to transgender people? The answer, as usual, probably isn't black and white. What we do know is that this bill is about more than just money. It's about who gets to decide what's medically necessary and who pays for it. Here's my takeaway. Whenever you see big claims on either side of an issue, especially one this personal and political, take a breath. Dig into the details, read what both sides are actually saying, and look out for words that are meant to provoke. Because in the world of politics, words are weapons, and the truth is often hiding in plain sight. That's it for today. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is this bill about protecting taxpayers or restricting care? I'll be watching for your thoughts.